All right, all right. We are back from a wintry week of snow. It's been cold outside, but warm in the counselor's corner. I am your host, David Lorenzo Glover, aka the controversial counselor. Joining me as my co host, the big bad wolf, Herb Lewis. Wolf is in growling mode tonight. There was a lot of talking in the Facebook group, The Counselor's Corner. It's time for some of your candy asses to step it up. Recap from this past Monday's show, where the focus was the body dysmorphia disorder. Please go back and check out the replay of the YouTube channel, The Controversial Counselor. Watch the snapshot short reels on Facebook, YouTube, IG, or TikTok. Now let's get down to the order of business for tonight, January 22nd. Um, we will be covering the topic about relationship myths that were told to us, such as if you buy a man a pair of shoes, those will be the same shoes he will walk out of your life with. Ridiculous. Marriage is just a piece of paper. Love is enough and will conquer all. If your relationship needs therapy, it's already too late. So, what are some myths you have heard and how did they impact you? This should be a great dialogue along with other subject matters that need to be addressed. Please like and share our video and don't forget to tell a friend, family member, or coworker to subscribe to the YouTube channel, The Controversial Counselor. Currently, we're sitting at I think 827 subs, a little over half to the next goal of 850. So movement is being made. So here we have it, and I'm gonna lead off with, man, I went to sleep Saturday night, got up Sunday, and it was some furniture moved around in the counselor's corner. It was people tussling, going back and forth. It was some furniture moved in the counselor's corner, and I'm like, what the hell? And of course, they tried to put it on me at the end. Listen, folks, when you put out when you put out post after post after post after post, and you're talking about a certain gender, race, sooner or later, somebody you're gonna keep knocking at somebody's door. Sooner or later, somebody's gonna answer. Somebody's gonna answer, and someone did answer. But don't look for me when somebody got you at a standing 8 count uh, to save you, get you saved by the bell. It's not the case. That's not been my style because I feel like this. People go back and forth. It's been like that, like a gender thing going back and forth. I can't help that's the way the dynamics have turned. That's not something how I originally started. Often I get comments, oh, the group wasn't like this before, David. It wasn't like that. It used to be so fun. Yeah. But again, like I tell everybody, there's a such thing called group dynamics. All it takes is one or two people to join a group, or same thing in a classroom. You could be a teacher and have the perfect class all year long. Everything's good. Takes one person to come in, transfer into that class, and can run amok. And the same thing with schools. 70, 80% of the kids want to do the right thing. All it takes is those 10% of the kids to make that school not a not so good school, because sooner or later those good people will start following uh, the behaviors of others. So I think it's been a switch. It's been a switch, and maybe more guys have because before it was be predominantly uh, females in the counselor's corner, but now it's not nowhere near even. But we still have increasing flow of men that's joining, and they have something to say. But the stuff they have to say, they need to be prepared that again, women are going to respond. And I'm not again. A lot of times I let it play out. I have nothing to do with someone going on someone's page taking a picture of them. Uh, but I guess when you call somebody a trick, uh, might be fair game, and they're gonna come back at you. I mean, that's the first thing they're gonna do when you're posting some of the stuff over and over about the same, again, race and gender. Sooner or later they're gonna say, let me see what this motherfucker look like. Let me go check out his profile. And when they checked it out, they gave you a medical, they gave you some sound medical advice. You totally ignored that. And I could tell you right there, that advice that she gave, maybe she shouldn't have took the picture. I mean, pulled the picture, but that advice she gave, that's advice dealing with diabetes, cardiovascular stuff, stroke, all of that stuff. That is not a game. So you might want, I asked you, did you want the link since you wanted to go back and forth with me? And I said, I'm not going to be no keyboard stuff. The lights is bright right now. You could come on here and we could settle the differences because you kept on making reference to what you do in your group. I don't give a damn what you do in your group. I'm not in your group. Never been in your group. You came over on our platform, so you don't you got to deal with how I do it. So that's just how it is. I ain't done with this conversation, but I'm going to pass it on because I'm not too long winded. So Herb was good. But look, one more thing. I did want to say how the furniture got moving, and that basically was based on. I'm trying to pull it up. I just pull up this one the post that kind of triggered a lot. Hold on, folks. Okay, here it goes. So she said, "Boy, this group's full of boys. Farrakhan, come get them. They don't know how to be real men, but expect a real woman. They don't know how to lead." That kind of triggered some people. Didn't trigger me. I did say to her, "Don't include me in it," because I know her personally. So, but after that, that was just a comment. I just let it go and just seen how stuff played out. And boy, it got under some people's skin. So that's that.
I'm going to continue where he dropped off. People understand something. Dave's going to like this reference. Before every boxing match, they tell the fighters, protect your time, protect yourself at all times.
Mm-hmm.
This extends into the realm of social media. Now, I'm going to give you a personal anecdote. In 2011, I ran for city council in Niagara Falls, New York, for those of you who don't know. No, I did not win. I never actually get to the ballot, but that's another story. When my boy broached the idea, I said, "Nah, man." I said, I don't think I want to really deal with that. That's, they tend to be real, they real nasty with with the way they campaign and the way they attack people." He said, "Sit on it for a few days, let me know." And sure enough, you came back a couple of days later. I said, "You know what? I'm going to do it." And then I realized something. There's nothing in my past that I need to be ashamed of now. What I do need to be concerned of is my family because I don't play that. So I make sure I scrub my social media. There's no pictures of me, women I've dated, or family members. So now my profile is open to the public. You don't have to be on my friends list to see me, what I post, any discussions or conversations, any of my pictures. That's part of the NDA that I always talk about. People poo poo it and they say all this and all that until the headhunters come. And when the headhunters come and they get you, people want to cry. Make yourself bulletproof. Don't give anybody any ammunition. So when they do come for you, let them know, hey, look, you want to box with God, and I'm a Titan. See, some of y'all not ready for that Titan. And the individual that David referenced that made that post, oh, bitch, we ain't started yet. I'm gonna let you know. I'm coming for everybody. You want to talk shit? Yeah, it's on and popping. Jimmy Crack Corn. Just so you know, I don't run, I don't hide, I stand on the mic. So just make sure you're ready. I gave you fair warning. You didn't heed it. So now I'm gonna set your ass on fire. and ain't no fire department gonna be able to put you out. Now, let me get to the public service announcement. People, if you drink around your children, and I'm talking about your impressionable teens, please make sure that they understand that consumption of alcohol underage is illegal, particularly in public. Shit ain't very smart. I was at work this past weekend, and we had a convention, shall I say, and I was coming down the elevator, and I didn't press the button in time, and it got called up. Man, no biggie. I'll take the ride up. On gets a group of kids, and the irony of this story is the young man, 15, maybe 16, had a tall boy of twisted tea. Like, man, give me that. I said, you ain't 21. People, there's enough temptation for teens to get into. Don't make it easier for them. Please be aware of what your kids are doing as much as you possibly can, and especially when it comes to alcohol consumption, because that's it's really, truth be told, that shit's nothing to play with. All right, it's my public service announcement for the show. Oh, one other thing. I asked last week a question. If you have 5 men and 5 women and 5 kids among them, who's responsible for the production of those children? Now, this is not a trick question. It's a question to gauge where people's understanding of certain things are. Now, from the information provided, it's not possible to figure out who produced those children. That was the answer. But far too often, we get a lot of people, particularly women, yes, I'm going to say it, particularly women, who think that they are all these men out here who are producing all these kids because there's more women with kids than there's men. That goes back to female mate choice. And we keep telling people, and people want to argue us down, say, no, that's not true. Sex, and this is going to ruffle some feathers, sex is a purview of women. Men are just along for the ride, no pun intended. But we'll get into that on another show.
All right. So to kind of piggyback on what I was speaking on earlier, again, when you posting a counselor going, change it up a little bit. Change it up a little bit. I mean, it's okay to post, you know, and I know her mentioned, something about the family, but sometimes, you might be out of town hanging with family or something like that. I had a good time this weekend. Might have went to a sporting event. You might have, graduated, got another certificate or something like that. Those type of things could be posted in the counselor's corner. I don't know um, when did it became this thing about men this, women that. Like I said, it's 10 core things that I use as my baseline. And again, um, relationships, friendships, family, um, health issues, education, workplace issues, loyalty, mistrust, child drama, and the dating game. So out of all of those 10, it's tons and tons of stuff. And for a while, what I think that was like in the fall time, I was, kind of running off that we had a theme of the week, and
And I
that went
think you
over
should go
well.
back to that. I think that was productive too.
Yeah, for certain things, it did. That went over well. People was posting stuff about their jobs and starting salaries, and what they're doing now, and all that stuff, which was positive stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go back or either suggest for people to come up and other than the 10 that I deal with, just come up with a theme of the week and then just roll with it, because that men and women stuff, that ain't it all the time, all day long. Going on TikTok videos, putting that, posting those, and then just using it as a opportunity to go back and forth. But then when someone says something to you, your ass ready to cry. ready to cry. You're being disrespectful. That is real disrespectful. You disrespectful. Half of y'all disrespectful. So again, like I told him, I said, in my leadership, I don't call people out in front. I talk to them in private, like I do at the schoolhouse. I'm not gonna call nobody out in front of a bunch of people. I'm just gonna try to find out what was the reason why, you decided to do that. And once she said, "Oh, he called me a trick," I said, "Well, there you go." But Daphne said they all are, but the mom is up until the child. If male's up to 13 years old, if a girl, the mom is lifelong. It was productive. Indeed, I blocked someone from the group. I wasn't exercising my positive energy. Uh,
And,
Laughing my ass off. What did I miss? Oh, you
and,
missed
and
the.
to the and to go ahead. I'm sorry, Dave.
Oh no, I was going to say you missed the. Like I said, it was some furniture moved in the counselor's going back and forth all day yesterday.
And to what Daphne said, every time David announces a new group of people joining, she always puts that out there, and I really am like, is it really that bad? And then I gotta think, you know what? It might be for some people. Utilize the block feature. This is for a while. I would tag people and post DNR. A lot of people didn't know what it means, and some people still don't know what it means. And if you don't, too bad I'm not telling you. I will say this though about DNR. It's something that the hospital says when they don't want you coming. I shouldn't say they don't want you coming back when there's no use reviving. So people utilize the block feature, man. If it makes your world that much quieter, that much saner, block, get them out of there. Oh, come out. You ain't got to deal with it. You ain't got to see it, and you done. That's why social media pages are set up, or social media sites are set up like they are. Don't be a victim to your own ignorance and foolishness. Utilize the block feature. Get rid of people, and sometimes people like. Matter of fact, I think this was last year. I'm not even sure around what time. Somebody tried to get fly with me. I took a screenshot, posted in the group, and guess what? She removed herself from the group. She ain't like that heat. Y'all got to learn how to play the game, honestly. Because if you don't, you're going to get somebody that's going to take advantage of you, and you're going to get what we got in the counselor's corner. So, hey, knuckle up, guard your grill.
Yeah, I'm like, man, and it's crazy because you know because of the name, you have like legitimate people with counseling
Degrees. Yeah.
practices and
Mhm.
stuff that request to join the group, and I'm sure they when they get in there, they probably like, what the hell is this? There's still room for them. There's still room for them. They just have to sit back and kind of listen and like, yo, this person needs help, or chime in and diagnose their asses while they comment and whatever. Then they'll be like, whoa, like I'm sure they'll take it like, who are you to diagnose me? But some people be dead on. Some of it is not hard to it's not hard to tell, and it kind of shows up. I think one of the person, I think her name Rebecca, she was saying she responded to eHerb. She said she had like a I don't know, like a mentor and spirit.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
saw
even know
that.
what she called it, but she was saying like some of the energy, like the post that's put out there, like it ain't hard to tell, like that might be an issue that's troubling that person. But for the world of it, I don't understand how homeboy, a married woman, posting up pictures with your woman, but you constantly talking and posted about marriages and this and that. Why? Why you care? Why do you care? Uh, if you're content with your situation. But I guess homegirl went in blazing and went and did some homework and said, yeah, I don't look too healthy. So that was that. Said that topic ain't for you. Somebody said you have to have tougher skin. Please learn to have fun with it. Yeah, you got to take it with its worth. You can't take everything
Yeah.
personal, even though some things may hit home. But to come back and try to put it on me, that was the issue. I'm like, listen, I'll let y'all go at it, have at it, and back and forth, and I do address the people, and it may just be in a different level, but he just kept going, just kept talking, just kept talking. I said, "Do you want the link to the
The
show?"
key.
Yeah, he didn't want no parts of it. He didn't want no parts of it. But that's that. I mean, our nature of the business is to talk about myths and relationships. But I do want to share a school story. And actually, I had seen the post, I think today, but I think last week, one of my students was during lunchtime was going through her phone, and she was like, "Mr. Glover, this is circulating. If if you had a if you was a kid and your mother told you to sit down and your dad told you to stand up, what would you do?" And I was like, if my dad, if he lived with me, I said I probably I would probably stand up. And then she's like, for real? Like, who would really listen to their dad? And man, please, I'm gonna sit down because my mother said so. And I thought about it. I was like, so a lot of kids think like mom's she's the boss, because a lot of times guys, dads may be kind of the silent ones and may just sit back and see how things unfold. But if things get to them and they get to that point, and if they're real quiet, the ones that sit back, I don't know if you want to face that fire. Uh, that'll be like coming in to seeing a big mob member. Like, okay, come on in the door, and have to deal with that. But a lot of kids. I mean, I'm not gonna say a lot. She was just one, but I gotta believe that many of them think like, yeah, mom is running things because probably she's more boisterous and does a lot of the talking and probably is the ear for the kid in the most part. But she pretty much said, "Oh, there ain't no way. I couldn't even take my dad serious like that. I would listen to my mom, no doubt about that." Yeah, I'm like, okay, and probably more than likely your mom is the one who pop you in those damn lips, and your dad may not beat on this little girl like that.
Yeah.
So that plays a role into it too. But I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I'm going to pick that up and run with it. There's a cultural dynamic to that um, that we don't explore enough. And this year, Daphne just mentioned something that I'm going to pick up too. She says, Daphne, and I'll read the comments. She said, I joined a book club about incarceration of black girls in schools. I had to not continue it because it was very triggering. The irony of that is that Newsweek, I saw this last year, chronicled and did a survey with black women, I was gonna say black girls, black women, and they found out that black women would rather date a man with a criminal history. I was floored when I read it. I'm going to have to track that down, and I'm gonna have to take out a subscription to Newsweek so I can have access to the stuff, so I can print it out and bring it to here. But definitely we want to expand into not necessarily a podcast that does book reviews, but there's a lot of stuff out here that is in print material that a lot of people just really aren't, you know, aware of. You know, we have a panel member Willie that always talks about Dr. Kanjufu. Most people don't know who he is. I just happened to come across one of his books today, and then when I read the name, I said, Willie always talks about him. So I mean, you know, we've had, you know, he's always graced us with his presence, BGS, and the library that he has, I can't even imagine. And I'm in the process of building my own library. You know, as I speak, I probably got a list of about 250 books that I want to eventually purchase. I'm gonna restart some subscriptions, excuse me, to a couple magazines and newspapers that I like. One of them being The Week. I used to read Details, which is a fashion magazine for men. I don't read GQ too much anymore. GQ is on the high end for me as far as I'm concerned. Um, GQ Details and The Week. For me, The Week is a very good magazine because it gives you a lot from a lot of different places. So I'm always intrigued by that, and that's another thing that BGS does is global geopolitics, global politics, which is something I like to try and keep up with because we're living in a never shifting world where the U.S. is no longer the point two state in the world. We look at China coming on as a global power, India, what's going on in the Ukraine. So there's a whole lot of stuff that you know that impacts us on our daily, but we're not really aware of it because most people, they're just busy living day to day. So, that's one of those things that we're gonna do there. But the next one comment, Daphne, and I just wanted to follow up what Dave was saying with that.
I don't know who this one person is. I was trying to
Yeah, they're
pull
not
it
coming
up.
up.
Facebook user. She said mothers run the house, and ain't no wait till your dad comes home anymore. And in most cases, that may be that may be the case, or sometimes dad may not be in the house, but he's still active in the mother. Like, oh, I'm gonna call your dad, and he drops what he's doing and he pulls up, and that's still enough for a kid to be like, oh shit, dad coming over here, or whatever the case is. So, I mean, it's all about. I guess it's all about the tone and the way that he carried himself, whether the kid views him as somebody strong or as a joke or um, whatever the case is. But I think if his presence is known, whether he's in the house or not, uh, then you may get a different response. Or if he's the type to pull up at the school or whatever the case is, ask for the grades, report cards, and different things, and stay active, he still will have some type of influence over that child, or maybe even put that little fear factor in them. All right. So who's the Facebook user? Throw your name out because I can't. I have to go through on my phone and look to see what it is, and I like to acknowledge, know who I'm speaking to.
It doesn't come up for me either, and I'm on Facebook. That's the weird thing.
Oh, Vicky, what's good, Vicky? Happy
I
New
don't know.
Year.
Okay.
Uh, all right. So moving along with the subject matter, myths in relationships, and I'm sure all of us heard certain things, different things throughout. Some things have actually stuck with people, and they still roll with that, even though it may be kind of foolish. And the first example I had used during the promo is the thing when, women are told don't never buy a man a pair of shoes because those will be the same shoes that he walk out your life with. What that's that's one of the biggest myths. I mean, to me, if you're a woman and you're with someone and like, oh, I know he like, oh, these would go good with this or go good with that. I know he hoops, he plays basketball, he likes to walk, and you out and you see him, I don't see the problem. But some of that stuff was instilled that you have women like, oh no, I'll give you the money or whatever, but I ain't buying you no shoes, I ain't buying no sneakers, I'm not doing that. And some of that stuff is just that was nonsense. Daphne says, sitting your purse
Oh
on the
boy.
floor and you'll always be broke. Yeah, I heard that one too. Heard that one too.
I never heard that before. That's a new one to me.
I think my grandmother
Because I
used to
went and
say
pulled
that to
up a list.
people.
I said some of these things are hysterical. I mean, we and guys usually hear this, happy wife, happy life. I always try and figure out where the hell that came from because I'm sorry. My mother always used to tell me, if you mad, scratch your ass and get glad. I'm sorry. I'm not making myself, my life, miserable at the behest of a divorce or impending dissolution of the relationship. It's gonna have to be what is going to be. I'm sorry, I'm not bending over. I'm not. The thought of me reaching over, bearing my John Brown hind parts, grabbing my ankle and saying, "Kick me," doesn't resonate with me, man. I'm sorry, yo. That's insane to me, man. And I feel and I understand the plight of men who are in that situation. The old adage, and this is probably one of the ones that's true. It's cheaper to keep her. That one is always proven true, especially for men who don't want to end up in the doghouse like the song, the original song Gold Digger talked about. I'm talking about the one by EPMD, not the one by Kanye West. So yeah. Um I feel sorry for men that are in that position, man, because I ain't sleeping on no couch.
Yeah, you already know I've talked about that. That somehow, some way, the myth is that no matter when you get in an argument, the man has to, go get on the couch or whatever the case is. Ain't no way in hell. If I chose to do it, that's a different thing. Then I guess for me, you just have to build a barrier or whatever the case is. How stubborn I am, and I might take you up on that damn deal because I might not even want to be in the damn bed with you at that point. But that'll be by choice. It's not like uh, I'm being forced out of the bed. It'll be by choice if that was the case.
And she definitely must not have had her Snickers because she tripping right now. She talking about you can sleep in the guest bedroom. I'm nice. What the what the hell I look like sleeping in the guest bedroom when I'm the man of the house? I don't if as long as I'm there, I'm the man of the house. I don't care if you're paying the mortgage, the utilities, the car note, you buying the food. I'm there. I'm the man of the house until I leave out of that piece. The hell I look like.
That's crazy. And another one is, oh, marriage is just a piece of paper. Well,
Yeah.
that could be an expensive piece of paper for some people. So you better look at it as that piece of paper is a contract, a business agreement, or whatever the case is, because it's more than just a piece of paper. Best believe that. So, but some people, they they go on that notion like it ain't nothing but just a piece of paper.
And you know the funny thing is about that is this. I pulled up a list, just typed in randomly, mess about relationships. And we hear this from women more so than we do from men. He's got to be my everything. Rarely, and I do mean rarely, out of 100 marriages, the man that the woman says I do to, in terms of what she wants in totality, he's probably going to be deficient 15-20% of the time. And when I say deficient, I'm talking about her list. Every woman that I've ever spoken to has a list of must haves for a man, whether that be his level of education, his economic standing, how physically fit he is, how attractive he is, how tall he is, all of that stuff. It's rare that a man checks all her boxes and maintains those through the relationship. That's one of the reasons why divorce, especially with the iteration of no fault, is so high, especially in Black America, because she at a point she gets to, she said, "Hey, wait, this is not what I signed up for. You're supposed to do this. You're supposed to bring me this. You're supposed to," and that's how it goes. And then they become disillusioned, and they say, "Yo, what's the song? Fuck this shit. I'm out. Excuse me, please." They're gone because that list isn't there. So even though, knowingly they may compromise initially, that compromise is not going to last long. So fellas, sit down, have these conversations with your prospective girlfriend, because if it gets to that level, all those things are going to do is metastasize and they'll get bigger. I'm here to tell you, I've seen it. It's the old adage. Jason Black says this: handle your business before your business handles you, and I wholeheartedly agree. So, fellas out there running around thinking it's all good, you really don't have to do anything else because you got her. You got to work harder to keep her, and that's the God's honest truth. So, if right now, if you get in the gym and your max bench press is 235, you can get up 30 reps and however many sets. 10 years down the line, you better make sure that bench press increases about 10, 15 pounds, and you can do more reps. Because she's looking for more. And in the situation, the courts is set up so she can get more. And if she's got to take a piece from you, a piece from another guy, some of these women will do just that. So you can try and be her everything, or you can be what you are and try and add to it.
And I think that's the key. If somebody's talking that language, you already, it's not, may not end well for you to be there everything. No, what you want, somebody that can kind of, yeah, balance off of each other. Like I said, I always talk about interdependence. Strengths and weaknesses, but everything. It's a little scary, and I think when that happens, that's when the jealousy kicks in. But there's myths about that, like jealousy means love. Like, oh, he's just a little jealous, but he loves me, whatever, and he's just a little jealous. And that's how domestic violence and you end up in a deep freezer down in the basement somewhere uh, when you have someone when you have someone that's and you think it's cute that he's just a little jealous, whatever. I like to make him a little jealous. Hey, you better check out the red flags and understand people's pulse, because there's a reason why they have the ID channel and all of that shit, because stuff happens in real life. So people need to understand that.
There's
Anita
another one.
was
Yeah.
good.
Oh, go ahead.
Hey, can you hear me? Oops.
We hear
Yep,
you.
Hold
we
on.
can.
Okay. Hold on. I'm having technical difficulties.
Nope, we can hear you. Or you just can't get the earpiece to stand.
I couldn't get it connected to my laptop.
Ah, okay.
Damn, what's going on in the counselor's corner? I see some boxing gloves.
Every now and then, we have a world class war going on. So it's happening. I don't know. Maybe people going through the seasonal affective disorder, and a lot of places it was we were stuck in the house, the snow and all that, and people was like, I got time for it today. So people was just going at it. So I want to contribute that to some of the especially the explosion of the way it happened. Like I said, I went to sleep, everything was fine, it was quiet on the Saturday, and I woke up Sunday, it was furniture moved in the damn counselor's corner. Somebody tore that shit up. They was tearing it up in there.
Yeah. Well, if I could add to that.
Or you could
No,
tell
go
us
by
some
all
myths
means,
that
go
you
ahead.
Guys need to realize they disrespect women in this counselor's corner all the time. But when it's fired back, they just can't hang with it. Oh, they want to cry about it. Fuck that.
Mm.
That wasn't the only disrespectful thing that I don't know what really set it off, but from what he was saying, he ain't the only man or male, I'll say, in this counselor's corner that has disrespected a woman and she fired back. So, boo-hoo. Take it with a grain of salt and drive on.
We'll see what his status is after that. See, he may decide to say, I'm out of here. But
Well, good. One less drama we have to deal with. Bye. I mean, I go back and forth with some people, but they basically know it's like playful banter. But when shit hits the fan, shit hits the fan. And I've gotten into it with some guys who are very disrespectful on here. He ain't the only one.
Oh no, we never said that. I mean, never.
No,
said
I
that.
know nobody said that, but I'm just saying to him, if that female felt disrespected and she had to say something and fire off, well, she probably felt disrespected. Oh well.
Well, to that I'll say this: there's a lot of people, whatever, pick what gender you want to, that live in a glass house and they like to throw them stones until those stones are thrown back, which is what you're talking about. The only thing I say is, look, once you start throwing stones, you don't want your house hit. You better put some protectors on there, because them bricks is gonna be returned. So if my mother always used to say, hey, I'm gonna put it out there. Don't start none, won't be none.
Won't be none.
So I want to get back to the topic. One of the things, sound like my neighbors are fussing. Playing hard to get. Now that's one that generally a lot of females engage in, and I don't know if that's necessarily the case anymore, but it was certainly the situation when I was younger, especially in high school. I don't know so much in college if I necessarily ran into that, because women tend to be at least the ones that I encountered tend to be a little bit more open in terms of whether or not they they wanted to associate with you. But high school, you had to figure out, well, does she like me, or does she want to be around me, and it's like trying to play chess just to figure out what's what. And when I'm, at least at that age, when I was trying to figure out what a female wanted, I wasn't trying to play chess. And some people still, they still want to do that nonsense. Well, make them chase after you and make them do this. It reminds me of a meme I saw one time. Man and a woman were at the altar, and she says to the woman, "He used to be in my DMs," and she replied, "Well, you should have responded," which I thought was very apropos. There's a lot of women who do that. Maybe they like the attention, maybe they don't like the guy, but they just want the attention. And the moment that guy steps off and seeks greener pastures, she's upset.
Bless you. Well, I keep saying a lot of guys like to travel the path of least resistance. So, if you like someone, make it known somehow. I ain't saying if you really believe in, the myths that Granny said, that don't go chasing after no man, or whatever the case is. Well, know that if you like them, more than likely it's probably some other people that like them. And I know women say, I ain't in competition with no one. I'm not in competition. I don't know why you actually feel that way, because I know guys know that if you're a woman that a guy likes, he knows that somebody else is checking for it too. And if you want to, you may be in competition. Now, she may not entertain everyone, but you may have to put out your work unless you're someone to say, I ain't got to do all that. I got options. I got choices. So I'm not trying to be stressed out by the situation. So you got to think about that too. And I seen Jada's comment about the Bills. You know, I'm a Steelers fan, so last week when they played Buffalo, I was like, and Buffalo's my second team. I was like, it's a win-win situation, but Buffalo, they just got to take care of business at home, and it's just another long off season and all that stuff. And the thing about it in the NFL, and we all hear it, the league is getting better, and some of these other quarterbacks are getting better. The window of opportunity is going to close real fast. So the time was now, and within the next year or two, if you don't get it done, it won't happen. It won't happen, unfortunately. So the doc said, and women tend to like the popular and desirable guy. Yeah.
In
Yeah,
high school, yeah.
but
In adult
but that's
life, not so much from my perspective. Not so much.
but that's the thing. A lot of people, whether male or female, they tend to not deviate from things that they learned in their youth, and that becomes a hindrance when they're saying, "Well, this worked for me then. Why doesn't it work now?" Because the dynamics have changed. You're no longer the same person that you were. You may not be as attractive. You may not be as charismatic as the individual that you once talked to. It's like this. They say men get with the women, a women. Men get with a woman hoping she won't change, and women get with a man hoping he will. And I didn't really always believe that until I started to get older, and I look at certain things on certain women, and I say, you know what? I like that look. I like the way she dresses. I like the way she wears her hair. I like the fact that she doesn't wear makeup. And then I realized 3 or 4 years later, she's completely changed. She's not wearing what she once wore. Her hairstyle is different. She might be wearing some makeup. She might have gone out and got some artwork done. And I'm saying, you know what? I don't like that anymore. I'm not as physically attracted to her. I'm off put by some of the things, and all of a sudden you're just saying, you know what? I might have to go mow some lawn somewhere else. This grass ain't what it once was. So there's a lot to that. And sorry to say, fellas, um, when we talk about this stuff, out front, have those conversations out front about what you like, what you dislike, your expectations. And if she's not amenable to it, you got to be willing to let her go, because what's at stake is your sanity. Don't drive yourself crazy. And this goes double for women. Don't drive yourself crazy getting caught up in what an individual looks like now, because I assure you, a short time removed, that individual is not going to be what you want. Just like Willie says, headshots are deceiving. Better get a full body shot so you know what you're walking into. And
Yeah, I just want to show a headshot today.
And have that discussion about the expectations of health. Honestly, that's something else we'll get to by and by, because David said we pulling band-aids off in 2024, and I agree. There's some conversations that need to be had, but have those discussions, because none of us are the same weight, the same shape we were in high school. I know right now, for me personally speaking, I graduated high school weighing 145 pounds, 150 pounds. Okay. Right now, as I sit in this chair, my big ass is 275. Yes, you heard me. I am 275 pounds. I was
Stand
close.
up.
I was close to 290. You can't tell by looking at me that I'm that
Herbert,
big, but I'm 275.
headshots are deceiving.
Yeah, but in order to actually see that weight, you actually have to. I have to be in
Do
person,
you see you
or
in your
you have to.
birthday suit?
That might cost some money. That might
Wow.
cost some money. I'm not a gigolo, but some things they you got to drop some cheddar. But I'm getting back to weight loss. So by the time this summer rolls around, I should be back down about 240. And my goal is to be between 210 and 215. And there's a lot of people out there probably saying he ain't gonna get there. I'm gonna crush it. You hear it here. You heard it first. I'm gonna drop 60 pounds. And if you want to,
Okay.
and if you want to see the grand weigh-in, the results, we can do that here on the Counselor's Corner. I ain't running from it.
Let's do it.
I
The grand
Yeah.
finale.
Well, I see people talking about what's going on, brother Dedrick, the Cookie Monster, the Cookie Man. My college weight was 147. I'm 190 now. My heaviest was 223.
Yeah.
Yeah. Things change, and it kind of triggers my mind to think about what Herb was saying about liking somebody for what they wore or the way they look. I think part of it is having courageous conversations and being able to tell each other, nah, baby, that ain't it. That ain't working for you. Um, and her having the ability to say, man, he got my best interest at heart. Now, then again, there's some guys that gonna say shit to try to put you down no matter what, but you have to be able to read that and understand. Like that's what I that's what I expect from him. But if someone who says, "And you look nice in that," or "I like the way you look," or however a guy is say it, but you got to be able to say it, and that's why I often see on social media. I'm like, damn, who allowed them to go out looking like that, whatever. Like, because if you're a man and you got a woman, she's gonna tell you. She's gonna tell you, where you going with that shit on? Like, are you serious? Or whatever the case is. And sometimes you can't look for that yes person, that yes man, that yes woman. You gotta have a no man or no woman in your corner. Like, nah, that ain't it. That ain't working. Let's try something else. And not but then again, let me be careful because you have women to say, "Well, ain't nobody telling me what the hell I wear. I wear what I want to wear. I do what I want to do," and it's not even about that. Because if you're a man and your woman says, "I think you should go with that one. I think that looks a little better," if you believe in her word and you trust what she say, you gonna value that and say, "All right, I'm gonna roll with it." Then you might come back and say, "Man, I definitely got a lot of compliments on that." She might not like that, but that may be the case. So, got to be able to have those conversations and be truthful,
hmm
despite the myths.
yeah. Another one, and this is definitely gonna be in the guy's wheelhouse, is you have to have a lot of sex for a good or successful relationship. I will tell
Girl,
you this.
what?
I'll read it. It's
I'm
This is
waiting.
number 5 on the list of 26. You need to have tons of sex to have a good relationship. I'm here to tell you, if, and I stress if that is your barometer for a good relationship, then make sure, and I've said this before, people, the women, they poo-poo, no, that's not true. That's not true. I'm not gonna do that. Well, why would I want to do that? Because you need to know. People don't understand certain things. The only way you can make an informed decision is to have the necessary information. Just like at the top of the broadcast, I talk about the 5 men and the 5 women and the 5 kids. there was not enough information to make the correct answer, the correct assessment. A lot of these guys will slow walk you. A lot of these women will slow walk you.
What's that mean?
They'll sell you this only when you get further in to pull back. So the first time y'all engage in physical activity, shall I say, she break it open. She do it all. You get access to the first 3 holes on the golf course. Complete access, if you understand what I'm saying. 4 months down the line, you lucky if you get to the putting green. And you're saying, dang, what happened? She slow walked you, fella. She smelled you coming, the Similac, the shoes. She had you pegged. You might be from Nigeria, so she might bust it open for you. And all of a sudden now,
the Nigeria
and all of a sudden now,
reference.
yeah, oh yeah, direct shot, yeah, oh yeah. And all of a sudden now, you don't get to see it as often. It don't look as good. It's starting to get a little pudgy, shall we say, and it just, so have that conversation. Because you might get to a point, as a guy, you might get to a point where you say, you know what? I had a good day. I had a good night. You know what? I'm just going to roll over and go to sleep. And she might question you because it's deviation from your natural pattern. You know, you ready to go. You ready to break it open every time you can. She saying, you okay? You roll over and say, yeah, why? What's going on? Nothing. Next night, same thing. All of a sudden, now she's rummaging through your phone. He ain't breaking me off. He got to be breaking somebody off. And it could be just that you're at a level of contentment because the things that you guys have been doing suffices. What people don't realize about sex is this. Sex should not be the glue that binds two people, whether they're a heterosexual couple or a homosexual couple. That should be something that is an enhancer. And I'll say this because that's how I operate now. I don't.
Damn, Herbert's finally making some sense. Go ahead,
I
Herbert.
always make sense. I'm just operate at a higher plane sometimes. Some people don't get there. My fault. My apologies. If you get there, and I stress for guys because guys tend to rely on that physical more so than they do anything else, then you probably are always going to want that. And that's fine. That's not wrong. But understand what deficit that puts you at if you decide to change. Because now you're going to create questions. And we all know women come with a ton of questions, especially when things deviate from the norm. Mm-hmm. We know guys do, but women are far worse because women are always in the convolutions of the mind. So she's going to start rummaging through your phone, start making accusatory statements. You're going to say, damn, what did I do? Partner, it's not what you did. It's what you're not doing. So you don't wake up in the morning with the stars and stripes wavering in the wind. You get dressed, shower, going to work, come home, grab your beer, sit in your lazy boy with your feet on the ottoman, turn on the game, and you don't bother. You don't ask what's to eat. Nothing. She's something wrong. What, your work wife breaking you off now? What, you hiding in the broom closet getting broke off? Something's got to something's got to give.
Well, when he sits down, I'm gonna grab him the beer because I feel like that's partly my job.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Miss Coffee Girl in the bed. Okay, whatever.
What are you talking about, Miss Coffee Girl? I don't have no coffee.
I get back to that. So, with another myth, Herb, that you was talking about a relationship.
I'm just saying that just comes automatic.
For whom, though? Hold on. Let Dave finish. Yeah, go ahead, Dave. I'm sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
I said another myth is relationships. You're supposed to be an open book. What's yours is mine. We have a social media account together. the ultimate thing. I know his password. She knows my password, and all of that stuff. That's how it's supposed to be, right? When you like this, when everything is all good,
Yeah,
so
why
she don't
not?
have to rummage through your information.
Not my world.
Not in Herbert's world, of course not.
That's a globe, just in case people don't get the reference. Not in my world.
I mean,
That-
personally, I don't mind. I don't think I've never been with somebody that's like, no, you can't answer my phone, or like, I don't care, because if I don't have anything to hide, you can look at everything you want.
I mean, for someone to for someone to want that role, like, okay, let me see your phone, let me go through it, and all that. When you busy doing what you doing and got stuff going on, you don't think about that. And maybe that's when sometimes people catch people slipping or whatever the case is. But for the most part, you're not going to be
Too.
focused on that person's phone or whatever the case is. But again, like Herb mentioned earlier, when people realize a certain change in your behaviors, that's when they want to do a little investigating. Yeah, I always like to tell this this one story. I don't want to call him out. I ain't gonna say no names, but I had a broadcast on this years ago, and it dealt with the changing of the behaviors. So this so this guy was telling me, I think I still lived in Niagara Falls then. So that was years ago. He was like his woman worked at this bakery. So she would for years, she worked there for years. She would come home and she would always bring him peanut sticks. Like that was a regular thing. So, and I'm thinking like, how the hell you eat that shit every freaking day, whatever. They good when you know working at the time. So, and it was at Deacon Millows. I worked there before, so I know hot off the oven. They good as hell. But to eat them on a regular basis, so the one day she didn't bring them. So he said, okay. He's like, damn. She was working there for like 10 years. Every night she brought the donut sticks home. So he kind of let it go. Second night, she didn't come home with the donut sticks. So now he's thinking like, what the fuck is going on here? Then I think it even hit a third night. And he was telling me, it's like, now, Dave, I had to do some investigating. So he used to, I guess, walk up to her, ride his bike up to the job, and walk her home from work. And he decided to go there a little earlier. And, and he said he was chilling in the cut. And then what he saw was her like at the corner with some guy. So maybe she started communicating with a coworker, and I guess they was talking for a while. Then they kind of ended the night in a nice long embrace. And then I guess that's when he rolled up, and then when they were walking home, I guess he got on. Oh, this is why you wasn't bringing home the peanut sticks. This is what you was doing. It all led to a domestic situation where I think they got into it. He pushed her through like a glass door, and she had might have broke her arm and had all these cuts and stuff. And I'm like, dude, man, like, damn, man, why you just didn't walk away? It's like, man, I know, man, I'm paying for it now, whatever. But see, not everybody can deal with those changes of behaviors. Something small as some damn peanut sticks. This dude,
Is that suspect?
huh?
That's suspect. That's
That
suspicious.
she didn't bring home the peanut
Hell
sticks.
yeah. I would have still brought home peanut sticks after I was
Well, that would have
doing
been
the
a wise
embrace.
thing to do. That would have been, but maybe she didn't have time because she wanted to get out there and
Yeah.
make sure that she embraced with him before he rolled up and picked her up or got there. So it was some dynamics going on. But I always thought that was interesting. Like how you kind of dissect that situation. Like when I first talked about it, people were like all over some fucking peanut sticks, but it was more so the
wasn't
change of
about the peanut
behavior that led him to investigate and say, I'm gonna go there a little earlier now and throw her off and see what's going on. And he got what he was looking for.
I got 3 things I want. Well, go ahead, Nita. I'll get to them. If you got something to say.
I have nothing to say about that.
Okay.
Oh, I
Now,
do know. I do have something to
go
say.
ahead.
Women have strong intuition. So guys don't understand if we ask you a question, we usually know the right answer. I don't know why guys don't get that by now. We usually already know the truth.
Sometimes that's a myth too, because guys
Yeah.
as well might know the truth.
I
as
said
well.
usually,
Okay.
not absolute.
Wow. Okay.
I'm throwing it back at you, Dave.
No problem.
There's
Gosh,
no absolutes.
this yeah. This is about oh damn. Yeah, almost 30 years ago. Without getting too specific. I don't want people to start narrowing down who I'm talking about and what portion of my life I'm talking about.
Just come on now. You ain't gotta say all that. I don't know why y'all have to
Don't
say
call
all
me.
that.
Don't call me from the bottom of the stairs.
Herbert.
Lakia!
I was dating this. I was actually living with her, and like we discussed with this particular point, she started coming home late. So I had packed up my stuff in the back of the car, clothes, sneakers. I had it loaded up. Sat outside the work spot. And she come walking out, blow the horn. She said, "You're here." Yeah. She looked in the back. She said, "What the hell?" I said, "I'm out." She said, "Why?" I said, "Your patterns are changing up. You coming home late. You're doing things you ain't never did." And she broke down. She said, "Well, things are different." Yada. I said, "Hey, you didn't tell me. You leaving me in the wind to twist, and I don't twist like that." So yeah, dropped her off and bounced. So I'm not going to accuse you. If you don't tell me, you lead me to assume, and my assumptions could be wrong. They could be right, or they could just be misguided. That's why I was talking about, get the information to make an informed decision. But yeah, that. I also have another thing too. I was dating this female. Time passed between these two, and she called my house. Now, I rarely, if ever, set up my voicemail on my phone. I have 2 lines, 2 landlines. Yes, I know. The business line I'll set up, but my home phone, I leave whatever standard greeting is on there. It just so happened to be a female voice. So I get home, check the answer machine, and I hear, we got to change that. And I called, I said, "You do realize that it's a stock voice. Yeah, you can't have no female on your answer machine." I'm cracking up. I'm just like, yo, wow, that like word. So you want me to put my voice on there, so you don't have to hear a female voice in case the answer machine picks up. I'm like, I'm not doing that, man. It's crazy.
So wait, how did a female voice get on there?
It's a stock greeting.
Oh,
some have a male voice, some have a female voice.
Okay, all right. So I thought it was an actual different person.
No,
so it was like a
that's
regular
what
greeting.
was funny to me. I'm like, it's a stock message. I didn't program female voice. It's just like Siri.
Yeah, she's nutty as shit. Whatever.
Oh my God. The reason why I'm not gonna say any names, and yes, I'm going kind of breadcrumb, is she's in the group. So I don't want to offend anybody. I don't want to call anybody out. I don't want to put anybody on the spot. That's not
2024. Call your asses out.
That's part of, considering we dated, so it was public information that we dated. I'm still not gonna do it because I don't want to have to flame anybody else. I already got somebody in the cooker, slow roasting their ass. So
All
one
right,
one
all
at a
right, all right.
there was that. The Orange Juice Jones. And I don't know how many people are familiar with the song. I saw you and him walking in the rain.
Mm.
Some guys don't have the terminology to do what Orange Juice Jones did. And for you, those of you who know the song, you know what I'm talking about. I don't have to explain it. But for those of you who don't, to make a longer story a shorter story, they get home. He takes all the stuff he brought her, credit cards, and put her ass out. He didn't trip and put his hands on her. He made sure she took a trip. They got about it with nothing. So, sometimes I don't want to say fellas aren't wired right. They don't think in a moment, and then in certain moments they become like women. They react. They don't think, and that's what ends up getting a lot of men in trouble, particularly when it comes to DV. So, matter of fact, the opposite of that is the situation with Tiger Woods and Lindsey Vaughn, I think it was, took a club to him. Same thing, except she didn't go to jail. She didn't get arrested. She didn't get charged. Beat Tiger ass. I think she's par for the course. I think. Dun dun.
I'm listening to that song right now. It's so cute.
Yeah, it's an anthem. Yeah. Don't play it though. Don't play it. They'll strike the channel.
A what?
They'll strike the channel because it's copyrighted music.
Oh, I stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I tend to sing and not play music, even though
It's your
my
world,
voice
squirrel. I'm just trying to get a nut. Huh?
Yeah.
Uh,
But that's
Thank you, Big D.
it's
I
an
just
it's
call him
an
Big D.
it's an anthem, and he gave men the blueprint on how to deal with the woman who's potentially unfaithful to you. Don't trip. Take what you gave her and put her out. Break her off smooth like and then step. Because and I've learned that as a older teen, younger 20 something. Um I disillusion of a relationship. Um and I'm out in public, we see each other. I might say hi, what's going on, yada yada yada. And I'm going to continue to have fun. I've had females say, "You don't seem sad." Why would I seem sad? We're not together. Okay, eh? The 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 business of life must continue through everything. Dollars don't stop getting collected, bills don't stop getting paid. Yes, we broke up. It is not the end of the world. And that was something I learned in my early 20s. I'll never forget. Yeah, I guess I'll tell the story.
we love stories. We love connecting the
Yeah,
concept with
I was I
stories.
was I was I was going to Buff State, caught me a live wire. We dated probably for about 4 or 5 months. I used to go up on the weekends up to Canada. I'm not gonna say where.
Of
Do
course
my
not.
thing. Come. Say it again. Somebody said
Okay.
something. I didn't
Nobody
hear.
cares where. Just get
Okay.
on with your story.
Okay. So she was supposed to come down on the weekend, didn't. So I called a male friend. I said, "Yo, what's going on? Where's she at?" He said, "If I take you, you can't say anything." Cool. My man did me a solid. I can't remember his name, but I never forget what he did for me. Knew where she was, knew where she had went out, and she was still young. I'm sitting in the car, tells me to come on in. She had no idea. Poof, there I am, and she looked like she'd seen a ghost. I'm like, look, I'm not here to bang on you. I'm not here to ruin any night. But look, if you don't want to be with me, all you got to do is tell me. I'm not gonna bang on you. I'm not gonna do all this stuff. And and sure enough, I smooth walked on up out of there. He took me back um to where I was staying at, got my stuff, and I burned it on up out of there.
She was with
But
another dude.
no, she wasn't messing around on me. It was just the fact that she was. It was almost like she was trying to string me along because she had did that to previous guys. She
That
had
was
two
her
kids.
thing.
Yeah, she had two kids prior. So that was the thing. And I was like, I'm not that dude because there was a guy that she was messing with before that was always hanging around. I remember one time we're at her house and I'm laying down in the living room and I hear what sounds like somebody trying to break in. Who would be that goddamn stupid? So I go to the window. Now, mind you, this dude doesn't see me. Doesn't see me at all. Still trying to get through the window. And then he looks up and sees me, and that cat looked like, oh my God, the devil is standing here. Damn, they broke his neck trying to get away from him. So I go around to the front door. I said, yo, dude, I don't know who you are, but don't ever bring your motherfucking ass around here again. Never saw him again. Never saw him again. Now, there's an ethnicity thing at play here. He didn't realize that she was dating a black guy. Yes, she was Caucasian. Like I said, he never came around again because he was scared shitless. But he was one of the ones that she was stringing along like that. Now, I don't know if her intent was just to get money or whatever the case was, but I was like, I'm not that dude. See, I play with a different deck of cards. And I also leave you with those deck of cards and go get a new deck. I'm not that dude. I don't play that game. But yeah, fellas, y'all gotta start listening to the old R&B songs where men act rationally, do rational things, and just step. Because I assure you, if you do something like that to a woman, you will destroy any presets and suppositions she might have about what you were going to do, the type of guy, and I guarantee you, she's going to seek you out. And I'm not going to say what you should do then, because that'll be a violation.
Well, sometimes we take risk in the risk factor. And I posted it before, but I never confirmed who the person was. And I call the scenario the couch potato. And I remember this sort of myth. It was a myth between homeboys. And it was this young lady. She wasn't pleasant to look at in the facial area. You know, she had a curvaceous body, but I didn't like the way she looked in the facial region. But one of my buddies, we is, on the set on Highland Avenue. She walked by. That was back in the days when the women used to wear the spandex, the little bikers. And she spoke to me and like, "Hi, David," and I'm like, "Hey, what's going on?" Then my boy was like, "God damn, man, you see all that?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "So you ain't gonna do nothing with that?" I'm like, "Nah, man, I don't like the way she looked." And then, of course, I'm not gonna get too graphic on here, but he was pretty much saying that having sex with her don't have a face. Yeah, I was like, well, then you do something with her. Like, she don't like me. She like you. You the one she spoke to and keep looking behind as she walk and still looking as we're talking. So I'm like, okay. So needless to say, yeah, that old thing, cut the lights off, put a bag over their face, all these myths that never occurred. If you're a woman and you let a man put a bag over your face, you dumb as shit, whatever.
But if you hit her from the back, you don't have to see her face. And she will never know you don't want to see her face.
Oh my God, I'm sorry. That's not
That's
happening.
true. So
Ooh.
let me finish the story. So back in our days, and
Just
we were so
saying.
mad. That was we were going out. I don't know if it was the same night or whatever, but one of the things we used to do was get like a 2 or 3 liter of Pepsi, and then back in the days, it wasn't the Hennessy and Jack Daniels and co- the cognac and all that expensive stuff. It was E&J, Irk and Jerk. So
Mm.
we would get a big fifth or a
I
liter of
thought you were
that.
gonna say Mad Dog.
Oh, no, I had my Mad Dog days, but we would get the E&J. We'd drink half of the Pepsi, then drink some of the E&J, then pour it in. So we'd go out, and we would go out with this 2 or 3 liter, and my little crew, we would pass it around. Holy COVID, back there, passing around the thing, drinking off of it. So it got nice, and I seen the same young lady that I wasn't fond of before, but I, had hollered at her and said, I'm gonna end the night with you. And of course, she was like, okay. Yeah. But what she failed to tell me is she had a couch potato at the house, some ex that wouldn't leave and was just standing there. But she didn't tell me that till we got to the damn near her hallway of the door. She's like, something I want to tell you. And I'm like, what's that? And she was like, well, my ex, we not together. He know I don't want to be with him, but he won't leave. So at this point, I'm wired up like, should I? Whatever. Which could have ended up into a fatal situation, triple homicide type shit. But I go in there, sure enough, little couch potato was there. And he's sitting there. We come in. I give him the head nod, the universal head nod. What's up? Like, what up, bro? He gives it back to me in return. You can't make this shit up. We go and, we, do our thing, whatever the case is. But then I tell her, listen, you got to wake me up at 7 because my girl was coming in from school and I got to pick her up from the airport. And sure enough, we get up. So she wakes me up. I get up in the morning. He there in a fetal position, but I think he was still up. He was still up because when I walked out, then I got like, all right, bro. He's like, all right, man. And then I'm like, once I gathered my faculties after having that long night in the gym, I'm like, what the hell just had happened? Like, why did I put myself at risk? Like, do I even understand what could have happened? Like, that shit could have been so fatal. So just tell you like myths and listening to people and going through and the influence of alcohol, the things that I could have not came out of there alive if he was somebody that was. I gotta believe that he was. I don't know. I'll say he might have been low or whatever, or just happy to have someone and didn't let rage get to him because how do you do that? Shame on me for doing that. I should have just turned around and said, nope. But you take risks as a youngster, and that was one of the. Even sometimes when me and my homeboys we talk about it, he's like, "Yo, you was wild, man. That was wild. Yeah, that was a wild situation." Somebody who's at Vicky said that damn brown liquor. Yeah, it was something. I was tripping on that one with the couch potato because he could have been slicing and dicing up in that room. So, just wanted to share that since we was into this testimonial night.
I'm gonna broach another one that's definitely, and I suppose it's apropos given the name of the show. This one is going to be a little bit more controversial. Once a cheater, always a cheater. That isn't true. And I'm not going to speak from personal experience, but I will say this. A lot of people, whether you're male or female, they might just be predisposed to certain behaviors because they have unresolved trauma. I dealt with a female like that. Her and I still, still good friends to this day. And she told me, before we first started dating, that she has a propensity to be unfaithful. I said, "Well, okay." I said it's a risk that I'm willing to take. Now, like I always say, you know, don't make haphazard decisions, make informed decisions. I was informed. I made the decision to continue to get in a relationship with her, and sure enough, a situation came down, and let's just say the individual that her and I knew, they got down. Word got back to me, and I was dismayed, but I wasn't shocked because she had already told me. Now, I would not say that made her a bad person. That made her who she said she was. And a lot of we tend to go into relationships and somebody will wave a red flag in front of us. And because we're so enamored with them or whatever the case is, we overlook that red flag. And then we come back after the situation and said, I should have listened to myself. I shouldn't have done. Nah, don't beat yourself up when you have the information and you make a decision even in the face of that information, because sometimes we need to make a bad decision in order to reaffirm why we should have done something to begin with. And I know that sounds counterproductive. Well, why the hell do I need to touch something to know that it's hot? Well, you might need a reminder. It's as simple as that. You might need a reminder that you need to stay away from hot things and hot women and hot men. Your ass gonna get burned, and I don't mean burnt in that particular manner. So, life is all about trial and error, live and learn, and it's different if you do it consistently. If you do it consistently, then I would suggest that you go deal with them demons. You go get healed before you start getting back out there in the boxing ring, taking KO shot after KO shot, because they're gonna revoke your license sooner or later. But there's nothing wrong with making an errors, provided that you learn from it and you don't repeat it. Now, that was the only time I actually, at least to my knowledge, have dealt with a female that's been unfaithful. So I'm going to shoot that once a cheater, always a cheater down, because people do things for different reasons. We get to a point where we say, okay, you know what? And when I say we, I'm speaking generally in terms of people, where they don't want that anymore. They want the consistency. They want to have somebody's undying, unyielding trust. So they straighten up and they walk that narrow path. And they might encounter an individual and they say, "Yeah, you changed. You used to be out there. You used to be wild, and you used to. It's a different guy almost every other week, and now you're married. And what happened?" And they just say, "Hey, look, I got tired of the same old nonsense. I wanted something different." So, well, it's not necessarily maturity, Vicky. It comes with a desire to want something different. See, a lot of people confuse maturity and consistency. I want consistency. As far as I'm concerned, I've always been a mature guy, but it's hard to get a level of consistency because this is something we talked about earlier. People change. So you can't get consistency when somebody changes. I'm a creature of habit. When I come home from work in the morning, the first thing I do, I generally take off my shoes. Second thing I do, usually place my keys right on the table. Wintertime, I take my coat off. Um, I'm a creature of habit. Most men are when it comes to certain things. And this is what we talked about when, just like David mentioned about the peanut sticks, something changed. So it's just like, okay, wait a minute. What changed? And more importantly, why did it change? And is this something I need to be cognizant of and need to go look at and see what's going on? Because like I said, and I always say this, make an informed decision. Don't make a rash decision. Rash decisions can come back and blow up in your face, and all of a sudden You took a situation that might have had a temporary kink and you made it a permanent one. Now you got your mate feeling uncomfortable. Nobody wants to feel uncomfortable in a relationship, particularly when they're just going through a transition. You know, we all go through transitions, whether it's physical, mental, or physiological, rather. So we don't want to be, thrown to the wolves because we're going through a change. And sometimes we don't want to admit to ourselves because we're generally as people, you're the last person to realize that you're changing. Everybody else around you sees it, but you say, okay, you know what? Something ain't right. And it may not necessarily be a physical change per se. It just might be, hey, I'm not going out on the weekends anymore. My real good man, huge sports person, you know, not sports anymore. And when he said that, I was like, oh, okay, he changed. Now, me personally speaking, I can never see myself not watching football, so that's always going to be a mainstay. But I guarantee you, if I got into a relationship and 2 years later, David said, "Oh, you got married," and I said, "Yeah, man, I don't even watch football." I guarantee you, David's gonna say, "All right, what's wrong, dude?" he
You
goes,
already know. You
he,
already know.
Yo, do you need to talk, man?
Like the fuck?
So we change, and change is not always a bad thing. Change leads to good outcomes. Change can lead to bad outcomes. It depends on what the change is and why. So, just because somebody changes, don't give them the third degree. Sit back and observe.
Well, I know one myth, and I didn't spoke on this before, that I'm always gonna hold on to. That my grandmother told me, and I've chronicled this over and over. That she said, if a person can't help you cross that bridge, you go one way, they go the other way, and, and it's so true. And that's what it's about. And it ain't got to be financially. It could be emotionally or whatever. If they not doing you no good, you need to go one way. They need
Hmm.
to go another way.
Hmm.
And to bring that into a full perspective is it was a time that I had. I stopped by. I made sure as they get older, let me stop by, and I would spend hours at my grandparents' house. And she knew from the look in my face that something was going on. And she was like, what's going on? And I'm like, then I got to talking to her, and then I told her, young, my 20s, trying to deal with this young lady, and having car issues, not making the most of where I'm at, and constantly seemed like it was something, always going on with the vehicle, but making sure that she gets to work, I get to work, but then, and I know some of y'all might say, "Oh, if you're dealing with a woman, then you should be able to pay for everything." Bullshit. It doesn't work like that all the time, especially depending on your age. And even now, like sometimes you don't even want that to be the case, that you pay for everything, because then that take away from them, and they feel like they don't have no worth. So,
Hmm.
and at the time, she wasn't playing her part. I was doing everything, making sure she got to work, picking her up, and me going to work and doing everything. But when she got paid, never offer gas. Never say, "Hey, I know you had to get this fixed or done on that car. Do you need anything?" Never offered anything. So when I said that to my grandmother, she was like, "Well, I don't mean to be," that they favorite line. "I don't mean to be in your business." But I'm gonna say this. She don't seem like she trying to help you get to where you going. So you need to go one way, and you need to tell her to go one way. And I did. I I talked to her a little bit, fed her on a wooden spoon. Then it was funny that it got close to the holiday season. Now all of a sudden, you looking for help for your child, which wasn't my child, uh, during the holiday season. And she's like, I can't believe you're not gonna give me nothing towards her Christmas gifts. And I'm looking at her, and I might have told her like, get the fuck out of Dodge. Like, are you fucking kidding me? And I like, nope, nope, not at all. But you see how that shit works. So I had that point, I was already old. I was at that bottom step and she was hollering, hey David, help me. Nope. Nope. And I took that myth and I ran with it. And that still holds steadfast today. You can't help me get across the bridge. You go one way, I go another way. And it don't gotta be financially. It can be emotional support, just support, period. And if you ain't in my corner, get the fuck out of Dodge. That's the bottom line. And them words from my grandmother. So I'm gonna hold those to the truth, and that's what it is. That's what it is.
I actually ran into that a very similar situation. Now most people are aware I haven't owned a car in more than 20 years. I do have a valid driver's license, but I don't need a car. Grocery stores a 10-15 minute walk from my house, 20 minutes in the wintertime walk to work. There's very few places that I cannot access with public transportation, and for those particular places I make arrangements. um Now the irony of this particular situation is this is a female that I wanted to date while we were in high school. The only problem was the age difference, because I dropped out and failed seventh grade. Yes, failed seventh grade. I was a couple years older than everybody else. So she was, I think at the particular time, she was 14, 15. And I was, 19, damn near 20. Somewhere, 19, almost 20. And I knew me at that particular time. I was like, look, she gonna end up pregnant. I already know me. I'm shooting. I'm shooting. Sorry, I'm shooting. Call me Shooter McGavin, but I'm shooting.
Herbert's
I'm
bringing it
shooting.
raw.
I know me. At that particular time, I knew me. I knew I was shooting, and I said, you know what? This is one of probably a handful of times in my life where I made a conscientious decision not to do something. So we fast forward, out of high school, out of college. She has her degree, and we meet back up. Now she has her own spot. I have my own spot. Matter of fact, it was not long ago after I moved in here. So I've been here 11 years this past November. We get together. And her mother is literally talking about he doesn't even have a car. What can he do for you? He can't even take you to work and pick you up. And I'm thinking, damn, since when did I need to pick a grown person up from work and take them to work? What was she doing before I came around? And when she told me that, I looked kind of quizzically, and she already knew, what I was gonna say. You getting to work is not my problem. I don't have a problem getting to and from work. Now, this might rub some women the wrong way. She had the ability. She had a vehicle. She had the ability to put the vehicle on the road. She chose aesthetics over being responsible. And what I mean by that is this: she'd rather get her hair and the nails done and struggle trying to get to work. That let me know that that relationship was not for me. I hit the eject button and moved on. So, fellas, it's true what David said. If you know, if you can't help each other, you can go one way and let her go the other. But understand the guys under which somebody needs help. If somebody's trying to improve, absolutely. I'm the type of person that if I see you struggling to do something and you're trying to do it, I'm gonna offer a hand. I'm gonna ask you first. I'm not just gonna jump in there because you may want to struggle and do it alone just to prove you can do it. And I admire that. But it's like they say, I think, don't quote me on this. I think they say Jesus or God helps those who help themselves. Absolutely. So I'm always a proponent of trying to help somebody, especially if I see somebody doing something. I remember young kid was foraging for bottles and cans. I walked up to him, gave him $1, said, "Man, keep doing what you're doing." He said, "Thanks." I said, "Man, no, no, no. The thanks is mine." Because far too often as adults, we don't see kids doing that. We hear them ask for money, but rarely do they do something to actually demonstrate that they know how to earn money. And those are the type of kids that I want to incentivize. Those are the type of kids that I want to impress upon. You keep working, whatever it is that you're doing, you'll get to wherever it is you want to get to. So I just wanted to drop that story in the following updates because it's very poignant. It really is. We have a lot of people who are seeking a sponsor, and then we have a lot of people who want to be interdependent. Find somebody that wants to be interdependent, and y'all make a squad.
Who is Facebook
If you can.
user?
Vicky,
Oh, I can't see her name. Damn.
Anita
How
Baker.
you taking her out on dates? Y'all just gonna hang out at the crib, Herbert? If
Well,
Herbert pumps the gas, I'll pick Herbert up.
Vicky, I will say this: if you want to know what we did, I'll give you my address and you can come by.
Damn.
Damn, Herbert.
I said I'm shooting McGavin.
She said,
Oh, I'm
"Who is
sorry.
Vicky? Is this a different?
Oh,
It might be a different Facebook. Well, announce your name
okay.
because
My apologies.
unless we
Yeah.
go
Who
on,
is Vicky?
I know it was another Facebook user at the time, and that was
My
Vicky.
apologies. I stand corrected.
Well, what's your name, Facebook user? Inquiring minds want to know. At the crib. I'm at my crib.
Well, see, and this is another
I got
misconception.
coffee in bed too.
Did he deliver it on the short bus?
Not on the short bus.
On the black Corvette, right?
No,
And see, this is another misconception too. And this is
the
something.
Acura.
Okay.
Oh,
Go ahead, Herb.
those the same rules apply. I can give my address. You can always find out. But anyway, the misconception is you can't do something if you don't have a car. And this
But
is
it's so
something.
much easier if you do have a car.
No, hold on. Let me run a scenario. David probably knows where I'm going with this. When David started out, there was no chisel Marine veteran who said he would never, and I mean never, let his daughter date a man who didn't have a car. Now,
Jesse. Oh,
Yeah.
Jesse.
now, on the surface, that sounds fantastic. It sounds like a father has his daughter's best interest and safety at heart. But if you go to New York City, if you go to Toronto, you go to most major metropolitan cities, guess what? Public transportation is the way people get around. And you want to know how I know that? Because I go to Toronto often. And guess what I do when I rent a car and drive up to Toronto? I leave that sucker parked. And I take what's called the TTC, which stands for Toronto Transit Corporation. Excuse me. I take the TTC uptown, downtown. You can ride the bus all the way out to Brampton, Scarborough, Mississauga, and ride it back. You do not want to drive in downtown Toronto. It's similar to Midtown Manhattan. You do not want to be in a car. I will tell you now, you'd rather be on public service transit system. They are not traffic is just not fun. The literally
So
morning
if you
commute.
don't rent a car, how are we getting there?
How we getting there? I'm gonna hop on your back. I'm gonna pull up my and I'm gonna treat you like Billy Shoemaker treat his doors. Come on, 4 furlongs to go. I've taken a train to New York City. I've taken a train to Toronto. What a lot of people don't realize is this: if you go to cities like any city in Europe, especially London, most of those people aren't driving. And the reason why I use New York City is because when I went to Buffalo State College, and those kids came up from the city, most of them didn't have a driver's license. They didn't get a driver's license until they came up here because they didn't need it. David probably can attest to it too. Going to NU, driver's license for people in New York City, don't need them. The subway system in New York City is so extensively set up. You don't need a car. Hop on a train. Take the subway. Take the above ground bus.
I guess it depends on where you live. I don't want to wait
No.
for the bus, subway.
The subway
from my perspective, it depends on what city you live in. Where I live, I don't want to wait for the bus. I want the convenience of hopping in the car anytime I want and go where I gotta go.
That's fine.
Because what time does the transit stop? The buses around here, like 10.
That depends on if you're in Niagara Falls or in Buffalo. In Buffalo, sometimes they don't stop till 1 in the morning. Case in point, when I went to Buff State, I would get into a little bit of an esoteric explanation. The 40 is the bus that goes between Buffalo and Niagara Falls. They'll run till 1 o'clock in the morning. So when I was working on the weekends and going to college, I would hop on the bus, come back here, work, and if I got out of work in time, I would take the 40 back to campus and walk up from Niagara Street right to Buff State campus, hop in my bed on campus. And if I was being lazy, I would take the 20 downtown, which is the Elmwood, or the 3, which is the Grant. Both of them go to the same place. Or if I really wanted to get, adventures, I can walk over to the 25, which is the Delaware, and catch that downtown. This is what I mean by not having a car and still being able to do everything that everybody else does. Yes, you might have to wait in inclement weather. Yes, it might be cold, all those other
I
things.
ain't doing all that.
But what I'm saying is this. Let's say you're in a pinch and your car is down. You can't rent one. What do? People are taking Uber now.
Call a friend.
You're out of town. How are you going to call a friend? You don't know anybody in the city that you're in.
How do you know I don't? I know people all over the world.
I need to stop.
She sound like Jesse. That's the same thing that Jesse. You got that call on
because
that is funny. Oh my god.
Oh, Jesse.
When I lived in Germany, we all had cars. We drove all the way from South Germany to West Coast of France to Amsterdam, everywhere. We had cars.
Yes,
and my boyfriend at the time had his black Corvette. He gave me the keys, like, take the car on the Autobahn. I'm like, I don't know how to drive stick shift. He's like, that's okay. You'll learn. I was like, okay.
Yeah, the Autobahn is not someplace you want to learn to drive. I'm sorry. People get wrecked and killed on the Autobahn. The Autobahn is not for everybody. I'm going to tell you that now. Yeah,
Still here.
I'm not saying you, I'm just saying per se. They on the Autobahn, they literally hit speeds going kilometers per hour. They talking about 160, 170 kilometers an hour. So you zoom.
That's crazy.
Yo, it is not
because like 120. Don't matter.
Yeah,
120 miles an
yeah,
hour.
you have people that will purposely have their cars shipped over to Germany just so they can drive on the autobahn, just so they can open it up. Why do you think? Look at all the German car manufacturers and some of the Italian ones. You got your Alfa Romeo, Audi, which is German,
Mercedes.
BMW, Mercedes, Alfa Romeo.
All the taxi cabs are like Mercedes and
Yeah,
Audis over there.
those
I would
those
say
cars are made to run flat out at high speeds, handle corners, um, tilts. What the heck do they call it? Sport tune suspension, all of that stuff. That's standard on them cars because that's what they do over there on the autobahn. Vroom, vroom,
uh-huh.
vroom, they're gone.
We sure
It's a
do.
it's a virtual racetrack on the autobahn. So
Yeah, I don't even want to drive that damn fast. It don't even make no damn sense or whatever. Like,
hey, I'm gonna
that
tell
shit
you, if I had the
ridiculous.
opportunity to, that's why they
Yes.
sticks. All the cars over there are sticks. Standard.
Yeah.
I mean, automatic? No, standard, man. You better put the feet on the clutch
In the
and learn
words,
to
in the
drive.
words of my sister T Glove, if you got to go that damn fast, you should have left fucking yesterday. Simple as that. Whatever. I'm not trying to like. I'm gonna maintain good pace. But all that 120, 140 and shit you asking, that's a suicide mission. Bound to happen.
I'll tell you what, man. I got a story, and I know you coming close to the 11 o'clock hour. Years ago, we went out to a spot in Hamilton called Roxy's. It was me, my man James George, and James George had a black Dodge Neon, and I don't know who else was with us. Bumped into some female, and I didn't know who she was. And we got to chit chatting, and she said, "Well, y'all better get going. You know, y'all got a long way home." I said, "No, we only in Niagara Falls." She said, "No, take us 40 minutes to get there." I said, "Nah, about 20." She said, No. Can't get there in 20 minutes. I said, "I tell you what, give me your phone number, and in 20 minutes, I'll be ringing you." She gave me a phone number. I said, "Fellas, let's load up." On the QEW, I'm hitting about 110. I got that little Dodge Neon crank. We come off of Lundy's Lane there. I dropped down to about 55, 60. Shoom, police sitting off to the right side. I'm like, "Oh, you mother sucker." I look in the rearview mirror, and I don't think he realizes that I saw him. So he popped the cherry. I'm like, he ain't catching me. I ain't stopping. Get
You was
around the corner with a duty
real
free.
froggish.
I'm like, yeah, I got him beat. All of a sudden, a Casino Niagara bus pulls out in front of me, sits in both the lanes. I couldn't get around him. He pulled me over at the duty free, man, wrote me a ticket. I was pissed. $350 Canadian. I was hot. That's who was with us. Ulysses, we call him head. He woke up in the front seat, like, "Yo, man." I said, "Just relax." I said, "It's a speeding ticket." That's who was with us. I was hot. I'm right there just before we get on the bridge. And I know some people are going to ask. It was a non-felony pursuit. So I didn't have to stop once I got on the bridge. They can't come in to the United States because they would be out of their jurisdiction. That's why I was mad when I got pulled over where I got pulled over. Because if I'd have got through the turnstile where we used to pay the toll, I wouldn't stop it. I was literally about 40 feet from beating that bastard. I was mad.
Like he's Smokey in the Bandit and shit.
Oh man, listen, dude. But it was 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, and at that time, there's no traffic on the QEW. The OPP ain't out, and OPP, despite what you might think about it, means Ontario Provincial Police. Don't get it confused with
Other people's property.
No, Ontario Provincial Police. But yeah, man, we used to have some fun at Roxy's, but man, I had a blast, man. I was it's like, "Yo, man," I said, I got 20 minutes, man. I'm calling this chick. I was out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Anita Baker, you got any myths you want to drop before we get up out of here tonight?
I don't know. I didn't think about it. I was just reading the boxer match before I got on.
Protect yourself at all times.
You said the boxing match?
Yeah, between
Just
you
talking
and
about
Spider.
yeah. I
There
was gonna
ain't
say
with no
that's
boxing match. There ain't no boxing match. What he wanted to do was spar in the gym when I said, yo, let's do this shit in Vegas with the bright lights. His ass came up with something different. He'd never get the link. He could have came on. That's all. Because like what I told him, I said, essentially, I appreciate the Counselors Corner Facebook group, but I always said the mission is to bring them conversations over here. Hop in. Let's see what you look like. You doing all that typing and shit. Come on. Pull up. That's the essential. That's the mission and vision I had. So with someone that doesn't know your vision, they just talking. He was just talking. But when I told him, like, hey, to get access and we can go back and forth, come up. Or you just want to increase your viewership. You ain't Cat Williams, dude. And this ain't Club Shay Shay.
Right?
Come through. I ain't want to come
I
through.
just put on Club Shay Shay just to look at Shay Shay.
I swear he look good now. Like, unbelievable. That I don't want to sound like a hater, but like, damn.
Yeah, don't
just be
hate. Don't
talking.
hate on
Yeah,
Shannon.
just talking. Now Shannon Sharp is fine. The fuck.
Yep. Oh, Shay Shay.
Good night, David Gloria. I'll see you next time. Take care, and everyone and every interested. Good night, Gloria. Thanks for joining and pulling up. We appreciate you. Hopefully, we see you. And again, we always want people to pull up on the panel and have a conversation. It ain't always about
Yeah.
competition and all that. It's just about dialoguing and talking about
All
these
these keyboard
conversations.
warriors.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Yeah, a lot of people just typing away. Oh, he said this.
Mhm.
They typing 100
Disrespecting
minutes per
women.
minute, whatever, and shit. Like they taking a keyboard and test, but when you can simply just click on the link and say, "Hey, I had an issue with this. I had an issue with that," and talk about it, they don't want to do it, and then they wonder why they can never handle conflict in person.
Yep.
And then he posted something about Passport Bros. That was like a 4.5 hour thing. I listened to some of it, and the guy was saying, "Don't think just because you're a passport bro, you can handle it." Because it takes, he was saying, like, especially with COVID, they're backed up, and it takes like maybe 2 years to get your wife to the States unless you plan on relocating.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's
There was
this
a
is
lot of
something.
information on there. Maybe he didn't absorb.
Well, there's a lot of people who are, to put it bluntly, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about with Passport Bros. They don't. And
I see that.
Passport Bros is not a new phenomena. It's
Well,
actually
let's talk
quite
about that.
it's quite old. Go back to the Korean War, where GIs were coming home with Korean wives. Same thing in Vietnam. It happened in World War II, where guys didn't come back stateside; they stayed in Germany. Especially some of
And
the
then,
black men,
right? You're
some of the
right.
black service personnel stayed in Germany because they were treated better. They were
Well,
treated
not
better by
all.
some. I didn't say all. Some.
No, you didn't let me finish. Not
Oh.
all passport bros were served in the military.
No,
So,
that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is
no, I know what you're saying.
the genesis of this has its roots there. What a lot of women are saying is that y'all going over there for easy sex this, easy sex that. Okay,
and
let's.
for the exotic look.
But how many women are trying to achieve that look here? See, the
We don't have
problem
to
is
achieve
this.
that look here.
I'm sorry.
Exotic?
Say that again.
Why do we have to achieve an exotic look here? What do
I
you
didn't say
mean?
you had to. I said a lot of women are trying to.
Oh, trying to with a big butt lift or
Yeah,
Brazilian butt lift or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah. hmm So what's
And then he was saying guys guys in the US essentially don't want a woman that can't contribute financially, but yet if you bring a wife if you wife somebody and bring them over here, you're essentially going to be supporting them financially
hmm
100%.
hmm
So,
but the
at,
caveat
at,
is
go ahead.
this: their standard of living there isn't what a lot of Western women's thought process is when it comes to their standard of living here. To
Because
put that in,
they're a lot of poverty, third
correct,
world countries.
correct, absolutely.
So essentially, like they would be like, "Yeah, I want to go to America.
hmm
Yeah, I'll be
hmm
your wife."
hmm
What? Yeah, it works out for them.
Yes, but it works out for both parties because let's say this guy's making he grosses 73,000. He's probably going to bring home about 50. Depending on where he lives, he's living a pretty good lifestyle. He can take care of a wife, kids, all the other good
Off
things.
of 50,000.
If he nets that, absolutely.
Bye, Big D. No more wine and box wine and paper plates. I got the real deal, Holyfield.
Yeah, what a lot of people don't realize, the average American doesn't make that.
Doesn't make what 50,000?
Yes,
Really?
the average American does not. We're
These
not talking
days?
about we're not talking about married houses. We're talking about the average single individual. Because when you get married, you got a dual income. It's usually thought of that way. But
Mhm.
hell, 50 net, not gross, net 50 grand. I'm talking
Mhm.
about after taxes. That's good money. Now, the only places that where you're going to struggle are your major
Good
metropolitan
money to me.
cities. So, New York, Washington, Atlanta, Miami, Dallas, Chicago, LA. Yes, you'll struggle. But anywhere else, you're doing fine. Like people, matter of fact, around here, I had these discussions. We used to have these discussions in Blair Nass's group where people would talk about, oh, that 50 grand you can't do. I'm like, I do it all the time. I see other people doing it. If you earn $50,000 net here, you're doing very well. You can afford a house virtually anywhere you want. You have any kind of car you want. If you want to send your kids to private school, you probably can afford to do that. That's off of one income. We're not even talking about if the wife works full or part time. More than likely, if you have a two income family here, you're earning between 75 and 100K gross. You're fine. You're absolutely fine. If the wife wants to drop down, you're still doing well.
I guess if they're frugal.
No, you don't have to be frugal. That's the misconception that a lot of people have. You just can't go out and spend like a spendthrift. So you and that's what a lot of people want to do. A lot of people want to live like, they're the Hollywood elite. And guess what the Hollywood elite don't do? They don't live like that. Warren Buffett. Um, I can't remember Google CEO, but they're not out there doing all that mess. They're not popping bottles and doing all this stuff. That that mess is for show. You think they
That's
actually
only.
go ahead?
Mm-mm. Never mind.
I was gonna say, you think they riding around in Maseratis? The dry eyes guy, I can't remember his name right now. Ben Steen, I think his name is. They're not riding around in those top end cars. What for? Ain't nothing but a price tag, nothing but a headache. That's why when I tell people about certain things like me not owning a car, I'm like, I'm trying to pay down debt. I don't need a car. That's a luxury. I get everywhere I need to just fine. And in terms of dating, if I need to go somewhere, I rent a car. If I want to go to Toronto, I rent a car. Once we get there, like I said earlier in the broadcast, I park the vehicle. We take public transportation. And more often than not, because I understand where it is that I want to go in Toronto, I'm getting a hotel that's close to walking distance. I did that for my birthday about 3 years ago. 4 years ago, because it's been COVID. And went to go catch a Yankees game. Stay at a hotel that's a half a mile from the stadium. Walk to the stadium. Novel concept.
So it makes me think. Remember that time we was on that tiki boat, Herb.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I saw the
Yeah,
pictures, and I wasn't invited. I was mad.
you wouldn't even was you? She wouldn't even. You weren't even a part of the broadcast.
I
thing,
wasn't
was
even
you?
in the United States.
Oh, I was gonna
Oh,
say, I don't think so.
but you could have been. But anyways, it reminds me when we were leaving and I was walking to my car and Herb pulled up in the his rental. He's like, "I told you, Dave." He's like, I get where I want to get." Said I don't need to have a car. I just rent one, long as you have plastic. And then he pulled off on my ass. I said, "All right, all right," but that's the name of the game. If you could be resourceful in the deficits that you may not have, and you're resourceful, you can do whatever you want, and you can't get ridiculed if you got something to cover those deficits. A lot of people talk that shit, but they don't have nothing. They don't have the resources to
Hmm.
cover it. So that's when it becomes an issue.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind. And I always tie this into when you posting stuff and on social media, not just the counselor's corner, but just period. Better be able to back it up somehow. A lot of people like to post shit, but better be able to back it up. When you
Hmm.
can't do that, that's when it becomes an issue. And that's
Yeah.
when
I know
they
how to back
hating
it
on
up.
me. They hating on me. They doing this. They doing that. But sometimes I will always say a word to the wise. Keep them guessing.
Yeah.
Keep them guessing. That's the
Yep.
best thing. Keep stuff a mystery, whatever. You ain't got to tell everything that you do. And I think that's another myth. It ain't a myth, my grandmother always used to say. Don't let everybody know everything you do. Don't let nobody know how much money you got or
Damn
whatever
right.
the case is. And here goes some money. Don't tell everybody. Uh, but a lot of times, people they got to tell the world. They got to tell the world. I believe if you didn't have to report it and people won the lottery, probably about 70% people would probably be posting and letting everybody know that yeah, I won this and I won it. I wouldn't
Right?
say shit. I'd be
Me
Machiavellian.
neither.
They'd be like, damn, David just got ghosts. I ain't saying
Quickly.
shit.
Yep.
But I believe a lot of people would just because they want the limelight, because they were missing something in their life that they want to feel accepted. So
Mhm.
social media is about acceptance.
Mhm.
People want to feel accepted and take it what you worth. For me, doing this, it ain't about acceptance. It was about a challenge because I'm quiet. And people say, "How the hell you got a podcast or got a YouTube channel? You don't talk." I just sit back in the cut and observe. I don't say too much. I say things to people that I'm comfortable around. But here I said I'm gonna stretch the limits, challenge myself. Everybody gotta have a stretch goal, something they gotta stretch and reach out and make them better. I advise people to get a stretch goal. Like this is something I'm not used to doing, don't want to do, but I gotta stretch out and reach out to accomplish it. What's your stretch goal in 2024? Think about
Not to
that.
bring 2023 problems.
That ain't a stretch. That's
For some people, it is.
yeah, but you gotta think bigger than that. It's something you gotta reach out and grab. It gotta be
I
a
got to
stretch.
get this book out. I got a couple games that I'm looking at putting out. Hopefully, I can get one turned into an app, and I got to start incorporating myself because I got some ideas that I'm going to put out there. It's time to start turning a profit on some of this mental
Yeah.
energy I've been.
And that's a stretch. Taking goals, and for me, I got stuff. I'm just not speaking on it, but I'll give it. I know deep inside, I love the kids. I love what I do, but I know that
David's gonna have another baby.
hey, fuck no. Like, come on
Baby,
now.
baby
Um,
mama. I'll be
No,
your baby mama.
no. I think it's about when
But
you
the
look at
difference between me and them is I got my own.
the difference
Your own
between
personality?
me.
Yeah, you crazy. We know that.
I ain't
Huh?
even
What do you say, Herbert?
I said your own personality. I said, yeah, we know you crazy.
Mm-hmm.
neither. Why
What?
you interrupted my stretch goal?
Oh, I'm sorry.
So for me, I look at it as, man, I put in 30. You spent 30 years in education. Fortunately, it's getting close to that time. That it's time to stretch and do something different to make money. Because I'll be damned if I say, oh, I'm retiring, then I die. Because most people who retire, they die shortly after,
Yeah.
unless they have a plan and they're using their brains. And I could say one of the saddest things that one of my former PE teachers, physical education teachers, he kept working to support his family, and then he finally retired. And 2 months later, he died. That is not how life is supposed to be. You work all your life and do whatever, and you're like, oh, I'm retiring, I can enjoy life. Then you die shortly after. Fuck that. Nope. Nope. What you do, you keep using your brain, you keep being active, and you keep getting that money. So that's where I'm at. Period. I love the kids. Love the kids. I just don't. The adults is the issue. At this stage of the game, the less contact I have with adults, the better off it is. Unfortunately, kids can't help it. They still in training. You still get to school. It's the damn grown-ups that is annoying. So, I'm in the process in 2024 trying to figure out, and what's next? Because it got to be something next. Because it ain't about putting your foot up on the ottoman on the couch and flipping channels. It's about, damn, this money train got to continue. Got to continue. No Social Security or retirement checks and all that. Nope. Y'all ain't gonna regulate me. Still got to get this money. But in order to do that, you got to be healthy, and I still have to work on that. I didn't take I took a major layoff. Yeah, I know I was going hard for a while, and I got some injuries, and I never got back on track. But that's the
It was
thing
the
about
holidays
routine.
too.
Oh, that's before I've been on vacation far as that for a while. And it saddens me to think that I let it go that long when I was going through physical therapy and all that stuff. But you gotta get back. You only got one life. You gotta take care of the body
Mm-hmm.
Well,
to
I gained
live.
about 10 pounds over the holidays. My big thigh self. I need to get back with it.
I
Yeah.
didn't.
It's hard.
You got to be committed though. I didn't gain any weight. I didn't lose any
I
weight. I
got
was
commitment issues.
gotta find a way to work
Not
through
to
that.
men.
Didn't say anything. Didn't suspect one thing or the other.
Although I
didn't say
have
anything.
cheated before.
I'm not here to judge.
It happens. I'm just saying it happens.
I'm
With
not
my
here-
ex-boyfriend, I didn't cheat on him though.
But see, that was something that was one of the myths we talked about. Once a cheater, always a cheater. No, it's not true.
Mm-mm. Not true. Yep.
But shoot, physical fitness it's a lifestyle. You know,
Mm.
eat, sleep, consumption
Repeat.
of food. No,
Eat,
Come on.
sleep, repeat. Eat, sleep,
it's
eat,
it's-
sex, sleep, repeat.
it's what you do. Daily. It's what you are daily. A lot of people, you know, they don't really believe that. No, it's more than that. No, it really isn't. Because I
I
didn't get
gotta
as heavy. I didn't get as heavy as I am until about maybe about June, April, June, started gaining that weight just because I had so much going on that I had to withdraw. I had this going on, the program I was in, and then another program. I
Herbert
was
said
in.
he had to pull out.
I did. I resigned the position I had as treasurer. He released me from that and a lot of other things. So I said I need to recalibrate, and that's what I'm in the middle of doing now. So, you know, there's nothing wrong with allowing
Recalibrating.
things. Yeah, no, just allowing things to go, so you can get back to a state of stasis, and then get back in it. That's what a boxer does every round. Every round, okay, that's one down. Let me go sit over here, listen to my trainers, recalibrate, get back out there. It's 15 different, well, used to be 15, it's 12 different lives that you have. Every day you wake up is a day to improve. Every day that's behind you, you look back and say, okay, what did I do on this particular day that was productive, that I liked, that brought me a positive change?
Well, I had a whole bunch of wings yesterday. I really like those.
And what did I do that kept me mired in mediocrity, kept me mired in a place that I don't want to be? Like you said,
Them
trying to
wings.
leave 2023 problems behind you.
Mm-hmm.
And
I ain't working on them yet. I'm in the pre-contemplation stage.
gotta work.
I need to work on my A1C. I'm eating better with my diabetes. It's no good for my heart.
Yeah, well, I
I've
think
been
everybody need to do that. But one of the things is you have to look at doing something 21 straight days for it to become a habit. And I know I firmly believe in that. When I start doing something and I do it, it becomes a routine. But once I stop, or whatever the case, or that pattern gets interrupted, then it just stopped. And that shit can lead to 2 months not doing it, 3 months, 6 months, a year. You can't have them lapse when you get older. You can't. We can't afford that. When you're younger, you may, and you're relatively healthy, you got time. But when you get older, you don't have time to give up 6 months, 9 months, or whatever. We got to go hard, and sometimes it's about having accountability partners, or whatever the case is, calling each other out and doing things. That might be. I mean, I know people do it, but that's something that needs to be put in place on a regular basis. Because shit, every freaking time I look, somebody then died. Especially
Lately
in
in
Niagara
Niagara
Falls.
Falls, yeah.
And I'm like, the fuck? Like, damn, I just seen it on a podcast doing stuff and people just dying, man.
Yeah, I had a cat that I can't say I grew up with, but when I first started working, met him, and he passed, and he was in his early 50s. So you know that one hit different. It really did. When I found out who it was, I was just like, one of the coolest cats I've ever known. Just a gentleman in every facet. I'm still trying to come to grips with the fact that he's not here. It's sobering. It really is.
And now, did you speak on that? One of our brothers from the Counselor's Corner, they Anwar people. You got the Gaines brothers, whatever, Aleem, and it was Raheem. Raheem just passed a couple weeks ago.
Oh, I didn't
Damn.
know.
And I'm like, damn, these brothers was active in the Counselor's Corner, and twin brothers.
Oh,
So
wow.
like damn, I'm like, when I saw that, I was like, that shit wild. It's wild.
I just saw that Martin Luther King's son died at age 62. One of his sons from colon cancer, I think they said.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's like a lot of people that you don't know what is going on. Like, I might look fine on the outside and laugh and joke and everything, but you got to check on your people because you don't know what's really going on, you know, what they got going on the inside. You know, I know a couple people that I know had, you know, taken their own life, and we just thought they were, you know, they were very charismatic and friendly and everything, or quiet, you know, act like everything was good to go, but you know, you
that's
just never
part of
know.
it. That's part of it too.
Mental health
The
is
mental health,
a big thing.
the physical. Sometimes the physical breaks down, and it affects the mental. And people
Yeah.
say, I can't do it no more. I could tell you, when you got back pains and all that shit, and you can't move around, that shit, that that's enough for people to like, I don't want to do this shit no more. When you can't make it upstairs, you can't walk around, or every time, and that led to my journey when I had lost weight during COVID. Told you I went to that not the Minnesota one, but the one in New Jersey, the big mall, and I was struggling. What is it called?
The Mall of Americas.
Yeah, when I was struggling
in New Jersey,
Minnesota.
It's in one in Minnesota. Then it's one. They got one in New Jersey. Yeah. When I was struggling to go through there, and it working, I said I can't do this no more. When I was struggling, I was like, I don't even enjoy this shit no more. Because that was during COVID shit. When people was talking about I got up to this much and I got up to 303 pounds. That shit was ridiculous. Ridiculous. And I couldn't do it no more. And I had said, I'm gonna die. That's what I said. I said I'm gonna die. And then I ended up losing like 57 pounds. And I didn't gain some pounds back. But I gotta find the sense of urgency to get it back, because my ultimate goal is to my perfect weight I want to be is 225. 225. Not too small, not too big, just enough to say, you try me, I'll knock your ass out. I know people like, yo, that's the wrong way to think about it. But for a man, you just want to be on a steady gait, like, and that's my thought process. Like, but it's a lot of work that has to be put in mentally as well as physically. So a lot of people think, oh, I could do this and do that physically. But if your mind ain't working right, shit, it all goes together. It all goes
after my
together.
heart attack. Yeah, after my heart attack, when I almost died 3 times that year from my heart, I remember pulling up to the what was it? Our little North Avenue reunion thing, and I was with a cane. I was like, damn, am I going to make it to sit down? I was quite nervous. And after all that, and still recovery after the third time almost died from my heart surgery in September 2020, I told my mom, I wish they would have just let me die because I'm tired.
See,
Everybody I talked to is like, you still got more work to do on earth. I said, shit, but I'm tired. My mind is tired. My body's tired. It's too hard. And
and
I'm
I- and I-
still here. I'm like,
and I,
damn, I'm tired.
and I
And
never
I need
want
to
to
lose 25 pounds.
I never want to feel that point that I'm too tired and I want to rest in peace, whatever. When I know it's still work to be done, and it's things
Yeah,
that I need to build upon. So that's what people have to think about in all
yeah.
reality.
But
But
my body been through so much, you know, all 12 years in the army, my body's broken down, heart attack, diabetes. And my heart attack wasn't from my diabetes, wasn't from drugs either. It just, my doctor said it just something fluke thing that happened. And I had a 90% blockage and 100% blockage. And he said, I'm a medical miracle. He never really saw anybody pull through something like that. And they said, like my whole cardiology team, they said, we didn't even think you'd be recovered as fast as you were. We thought you'd still be in a wheelchair. You know, this was last year. My doctor brought my case to a women's health conference. I said, yeah, but doctor, I'm tired. And my heart's in decline a little bit right now. I'm like, I'm tired. He was like, no, gotta keep on going. I was like, but I'm tired. It's difficult sometimes.
the one thing you got to realize it. Once you lay down in peace, whatever, you're gonna sleep forever.
It's
But while
it's
you can still
permanent.
work, you gotta still keep grinding while you can, because
Yeah.
it should become permanent. And I don't think people
Mhm.
understand that. That's why I understand the foolishness of the guns and shooting people and doing this and that. That shit permanent, or even being in
Mm.
jail for the rest of your life. That's permanent.
Mhm.
Uh, I don't know what we're gonna do. I mean, people are like, oh, yeah, you guys have these groups in these podcast shows. What's the solution? Do anybody really got a solution?
No.
But I think it starts from talking, having conversations, and maybe you affect one person, two people. I don't think anybody has a whole plan that can like change the world. Uh,
Mm.
so you only get hope that bunch of people, they started impacting other people. But again, a lot of our issues is the malice in the heart. Too much malice in the heart, and that's done our growth. When people got hatred in their heart, shit, you can't win.
That's toxic.
Yeah, you can't win, and that's I think what we dealing with.
Mm.
And nobody came up with no cure for that. They may say, "Oh, church is the cure" and all that stuff, but I don't think there's no medicine or anything. And I'm about to drop that as a stat. There's no medicine or anything for malice in the heart. There's
Yeah,
nothing.
true.
That's an emotional internal thing. All right, but we gonna get ready to get out of here because guess what? I got an interview tomorrow, which is crazy.
But he thought
Interview.
I was like something
I have
happened to me. I said,
I haven't had an
come here.
interview in years, and
I'm off. I got
and
all
this
the
inter, in, and this interview is because the school I'm at closing down and they building a new school, so I got an interview for that school. Like this is part of the 2024 plan. That's like I said to one of my coworkers, I said that's like sending LeBron James to a expansion team. What I look like interviewing? The fuck like I look like but it's the system. Got to play the game. So that's what I got in store.
Yep.
Closing comments, Anita. We had a lot to say, a lot going on, a lot of stories, a lot of testimonies, myths, and all that.
I need to testify.
Yeah. What
Keep
do
on
you?
going.
How do you summarize this?
Well, I don't know. I didn't have much to say. I was listening to Herbert yik yak about the easy way not to have a car. Find a girl that has a car, and
It's a myth that needs
Herbert.
to be smashed.
Well,
You don't need a car to date. That's a myth.
you
Yeah.
may have a thought process or something.
No, I
That
just got
crossed your
the.
mind.
I did, but now I forgot what it was. I don't know. Yeah, check in. Well, this goes with the last thing I said. Check in with your friends. Check in with people that are just acquaintances. Mental health check, welfare check. See what's going on. I know a lot of people are struggling financially. I just got over COVID a couple weeks ago, or like last week. Oh, it was terrible. Now my mom and my stepdad have COVID. So it's going around again in Niagara Falls. RSV, my friend passed away a month ago from RSV and pneumonia. There's a whole lot going on in the world right now.
Yeah, they're making people mask up at the hospital.
They're what?
They're making people mask up at Memorial Medical Center, the hospital.
I was just at the VA today. They weren't making us mask up yet. But I wear a mask anyhow. There's a whole lot of other people's germs going around that I don't like. Like, I don't like no D germs in my house.
Yeah, okay.
You see this nice quilt that I have. I don't want no germs but mine and Buddy's on this.
I was gonna say I see no color stain over your left shoulder, but maybe that's my eyesight.
You see what? This what you see?
No, I wasn't quite that big. Kind of like the Monica Lewinsky stain, but that's okay.
No, it's that. No, that was my sheet, my flannel sheet. Took it down.
Myths are a good thing if you're trying to tell a story. Otherwise, I would suggest that you try and find a way to overcome them, especially if you consider them to be a hindrance. A lot of things in life are going to leave you disillusioned. It might be a good thing, might be a bad thing. It all depends on where you stand or where you sit. And if you ain't doing neither one of those, you probably waited too long. You need to go find something else to do. Me personally, I've never let what another person believes I should or should not be doing to impede me, because I'm going to do what I've always done. That's push on, move ahead, go forward. With that, like I always say, growth and understanding occurs in a gray area. Godspeed. See you next time.
All right. For me,
good speech from the Riddler himself.
That's it. Myths is what they are. You take what you can from them. You pull what you can from them. Some things are good. Some things is bad. You develop your own perspective and your own experiences, and you kind of dib and dab. It's like a buffet. You take what you can from each and everything, but you stay grounded in what you firmly believe in. And if it doesn't feel good to you in your heart, then you say, I don't want to deal with that. But some things you say, yeah, that shit is legit. And you again, you plug at it, and there's no right or wrong answer, but you keep moving forward. And that's what I suggest. Nobody has the perfect solution or the golden key to with any of this. So we just got to keep fighting and fighting and fighting. It's a constant fight. I'm
I
built for
got
the
one more
fight.
thing to say before we go. I
All right.
got one more thing to say before we go.
Well, I'm gonna finish this up. So that's my closing comment or whatever. Just keep fighting. Take what you can. Believe in what you can. If it's positive, take it. If it's negative or toxic, throw it away. And then you just, if it's wearing you down, you already know it's not good for you. But if it's uplifting you, then you grow and pull forward. That's all you can do. Go ahead, Anita. Close it out.
Mhm. Um, well, seeing how I know a few people that have taken their lives and that have passed away, I hope that ever or somebody out there has been inspired by my story saying keep on going. Keep on going. For some reason, God gave me 3 more chances at this, and I'm tired, but I'm keep on going. And I'll say, if I didn't have a good friend of mine, the past, I'll say the past 6 months or whatever year, I mean, I really appreciated that friendship because my friend kept me going. There was days I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna get through this day. I don't know how, but you
Don't
know,
do it.
friends are friends, acquaintances. They can be important people. And if anybody needs to talk to a stranger, like they can even inbox me. Because sometimes it's easier to talk to a stranger about stuff. And the reason why I don't mind sometimes being vulnerable on here is because a lot of people in the counselor corner, like they think like they have to be hard all the time. Like, nah, that's not how life is. You ain't always, you know.
Well, let's get to understand, Anita. You're above their level because you came live. You came with a bright lights. Those is just people like to type on the thing. They're not even at that point, so they're still hiding. They're
Mm,
still in hiding until they reach the state of showing um, showing their face, coming on, being live, showing that they're real. You talk
being
about, oh,
vulnerable to say that
yeah,
I ain't perfect.
yeah. I got a Facebook group. Well, okay, turn it into a podcast or broadcast. That's the next elevation, whatever. If you ain't done that, shut the hell up and don't talk to me because you got nothing to say to me. So
Pretty
you
much.
above that their stage. So you, if
Mm,
nobody told you, you're past their stage in growth and
okay,
development
I
in this
try.
day and age.
I try. Try to inspire somebody on here to say it's okay not to be okay. It's okay not to be strong 100% of the time. We're all human. Stuff for Herbert, he's superhuman. I see. He's gonna go
What jersey
skiing out in that
is
snow.
that Aikman or Lossman? Aikman.
Amen.
Okay. Dallas. Boo.
Yeah, they did
Hey,
play pretty shitty the other day.
Deep in the heart of Texas.
Mm,
uh,
they played
all
really
right,
shitty.
good people. We gonna get out of here. Don't
Yeah,
know
'cause
what's
I was
gonna happen
talking
to
all night.
Counselor's Corner for this week, but it ain't shutting down. But we still
Spider,
gonna be
pull
active.
up.
Yeah, pull up. And
Pull up, Spider.
if you're really feeling good, come on to the platform. Talk about it.
If you're
Show
feeling
face.
froggy, jump. Right?
Yeah,
If you're
feel
feeling
show
froggy, jump.
face in the Counselor's Corner.
I'm just
We
saying.
here. All right, people. We out. See y'all
All
next
right,
time. Everybody be
bye.
well and stay safe.
Take care.
Jazz
Peace.
hands.
Peace.
Peace. Damn this shit.
What you talking about?